Queen Supreme, Queen Savage, that's me. Welcome to my Blog Talk Radio. You ready for it? Let's go. With the things you really want to hear, can I grab you by your ear and let you listen to the definition of the real savage shit? Come on, listen to me. Listen to me. Come on, pull up right now and you can see I got that talk. Yo, what's the deal? It's your host, Queen Supreme, and we on the jungle. Brought to you by Grab Your Mic and presented by Supreme Podcast. How are all my listeners doing today? As we continue to wind down to what's going on the jungle, I just want to let you guys know that the struggle is real. This episode will make episode 5, which is Prime Time. The name of this one is Prime Time because it's time to get in gear. When you are in your jungle and you are trying to get up out of your jungle, one thing that lets you know you're about that action is when you gear in action. So this episode is Prime Time, and today's struggle is Prime Time. Because when you're in the limelight, what would you do? Will you fold? Or will you rise to the occasion? Only we know. Now, when we left off, for all of you that are following along on my blog, which is Supreme Podcast blog, Supreme Podcast Hits Blog Talk, you can also hit me up on Spotify if you want to see that, as well as iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon. So when we last talked last week, we were talking about Dee and her not being able to have what she needed to finish her mission, which is to take over her father's life, actually, basically. And Daryl was basically going on his own excursion in Los Angeles trying to get his wife Toya back. Keep in mind, neither one know about what's going on. Daryl don't know what's going on in Little Rock, and Dee doesn't know what's going on in Los Angeles. So let's get down to it, shall we? Now, when you're in a struggle and you've been saving for that struggle, just for that one occasion to get out of that struggle, and you don't take the opportunity, what was all the hard work for? What was all of the tears and the sweat and the worrying for? Is when once it gets to that time to do what you got to do, you don't do it. So this is what is it about? Coming to you for real. So that's what happened with Dee and Daryl. Daryl and his lawyer are on their way to the same spot where Toya got shot at, and the same place where Daryl killed those 2 Jamaicans. He got to do what he got to do to save his wife's life. So the lawyer made a few calls for himself, and he got a sniper on 4 buildings, centering the building of the building where the Jamaicans are at. The rooftops or where the snipers are, just in case things get a little bit out of hand, which of course they are going to get up out of hand, because why? Because Daryl is trading himself for his wife. His life for another life. The Jamaicans made them take a cab there. So they tell the cab driver, let me out. Once they get out, Daryl is feeling unbearably nervous, but he was preparing for death. He knew that in his heart he wouldn't, make it back to Little Rock, Arkansas, and that was okay with him, knowing that he was saving his wife's life. For the first time, he actually felt a little at peace and content, you know what I'm saying? But also he knew that he would die in the streets since he was younger, because he damn sure wasn't riding in no jail cell for the rest of his life. So, the driver dropped him off, and they got to the door. When they got to the door, they paused, and the lawyer asked Daryl, "Are you ready to do this?" And he said, "I'm ready." Now, Dee is getting noticed all around town. It seems like people are starting to take her seriously. She has changed in the last week. You know what I'm saying? Her swag a little different. Something has came over her, I guess. She isn't the same. And one thing she is the boss bitch. And she's a stone cold killer, just like her father was. But she more ruthless than him. Now D, she be riding down on the police, shaking them down. Turns out that she don't need her father's fingerprint. That she didn't found a way to freeze the account and reset everything. And any manager at the credit union could have did that. So she gonna get paid at 9 o'clock tonight. She gonna get paid. She gonna be a rich ass woman over $3.5 million. Her parents wouldn't be back till in the morning supposedly. And once they return, she gonna lock them both up until she decides their expiration date. So she is really didn't took a time what her struggle was about in the first place. And I can't think of a thing to say. We'll be right back on Queen Supreme, The Jungle. I've got that podcast talk for ya. Yes, indeed, you know it's me from the gate. Can't nobody replace. Business bitch situated. Business bitch high as the mountain. Every time you see me, your dick be bouncing. I mean, your podcast ain't better than mine. Yeah, it's the Queen Supreme. Don't you want to tune in to me? Yeah, let's talk podcast for a minute. Then let me take a little break. Then come back with some hay. Roll it up. I might even let you hold one. Maybe not. I don't really care. I don't really know, but this is my spot. My spot. Hell yeah. What I said goes. And what I do is shows. Yeah. Everybody listen to me the most. Queen Supreme up in this bitchin'. I just want you to listen. Yeah. Pay attention to all of my flows. And I suppose I will appreciate you. Thank you. What's up? It's your host, Queen Supreme, and we are back on The Jungle, and we are talking about the prime time of your struggle. So let's see what happens next. So D is basically finna be a rich woman, like I said. She has no clue what's going on in Los Angeles. Her baby now has a nanny, and she has turned her parents' house into the main stash house. All the dad's soldiers now work for her, and she is just as cold as ever. So I can't think of a thing to say, because she cold as ever. So she finna give all her workers $1 million. She already gave them $1 million apiece. Her team, the people that she brought on with her. Okay. And she doing it. She doing it. But, in just in less than a week, with one day left to spare, D was Queen Pin of the Jungle. But did it come at a cost? Her soul, maybe? She never really knew the streets before now. She never knew the street code. See, you can't just play the part. You have to live it out. Truly be in the part of it. And become one with the savages. Eat amongst the wolves and walk with the zombies. That's what you have to do when you are in the jungle. If you continue to stay in that jungle, then that's what it will lead you to selling your soul. She was unaware that she had turned into her father. She thought that she was still one of able-bodied people that are amongst us still. And throughout life, that's how it is. When you enter your jungle and you done worked hard for your jungle to overcome that jungle, sometimes you may lose yourself in that jungle and you might not come out that struggle the same as you went in. Do you understand me? You may not. Because you got to think of it like this. Why in the world would I go through all this not to make it out? Now, whether I make it out myself or not, the person that I came in to be, I'm not gonna sit up here and stay in the jungle. If I can get out, am I gonna get out the way I came? I mean, to me, yeah. Then that's how people think. Sometimes you go through a struggle and you never come back as the person you went in the struggle with. That mind frame be gone. Maybe the struggle was tough. It's tougher than what you thought it was, and you lost your mind on the way out. But something has certainly happened with D. So, after hearing all of that, what would you do? And so, we'll be right back after this. The blog, podcast, hotter than God. I'm hotter than a fish grease. Yeah, everybody got, binoculars on, trying to see me, to be me. You can never be me. You can never be your queen. We are back. Thank you so much I had someone come to my office and they needed some paperwork signed. So, I'm going to be professional. So, now with that being said, D is not the same person that she was when she entered her struggle. She's been dealing with her struggle since she was a kid. She's never overcame it. So if it took a price to come out of that struggle, that's what she did. That's what she was determined to do. She was determined. She had made it there. It felt good to be there. Excuse me. Nobody else to be afraid of. Nobody else to bully her. And sometimes in life we're desperate and we want that. We want that freedom of somebody hovering over our head, taking us for granted, or abusing us, or going through this situation with paying the same bill. Sometimes when you get to over your struggle and over your storm, sometimes it's just a relief to be out of it. But how long will the relief last? A temporary fix. It's like getting high. She on an adrenaline high. She don't know the down part of the street code. She don't know the down part of accepting the jungle as her permanent life. See, sometimes the facade of the jungle being over, and we think it's over, but really we're just going deeper into the jungle. See, she didn't really make it out the jungle. All she did was got shown a different kind of life she could live inside of the jungle. But this life is permanent. And once you make some decisions, you can't go back. Which before she was just in the jungle temporarily. Sometimes you can have temporary problems, and sometimes you can have years and years of the same problem because you study going deeper in the jungle. You're going inwards instead of going forward. So with that being said, now she has what she thinks she's wanted her whole life. But did this come at a price? And does your jungle come at a price? If you look around, are you still in your jungle? Are you still going through that same situation? You just choose to make it up, make it pretty, live a little better with it, cope with it a little better, satisfied with how you are going about your jungle? Because the jungle will give you some pressure off of you, and then just to put more pressure on you. Do you think you have gotten out of your jungle? Maybe you've never been out of your storm. Maybe you just been surviving as you know how to survive in it. I want to let you know right now that if you think you can turn a blind eye to your struggle, it's going to keep coming up in your face and coming up in your world and coming up in your finances and coming up in your life, because those are things that are not normal. And those are things that will cause attention. They're head turners, your struggles. The bigger you let them get, the more people will notice them. So get over your struggle. Get through your struggle. There are other options. But did Dee know there were other options? Now, something happened when Dee is she chilling with her right hand man, which is DeMarcus, which is her dad's twin brother, and he tells her some real shit. He tells her that you are nothing but a generational curse. And Dee like, wait a minute, watch your mouth now. You know what I'm saying? Don't be talking like that. And he said, you are. He said, because if I got something I need to tell you. So they sitting up in the car, they rolling the blunt, and she tells him. He tells her, I'm sorry. And she say, what you got to tell me? He say, when my brother was 9 years old, he sold his soul to the streets. And she said, what? He said, yeah. And when he was 14, he killed our parents. And Dee couldn't believe what she was hearing. And he said, now you finna kill your parents. Just like he did. Just like my brother did. He said, when is this gonna stop? And she couldn't even think of what to say. She didn't know what to say. And he just had his head down, and she said, what are you going to do with yourself? And she couldn't think of a thing to say. It had been a generational curse for years, for three decades. Everything that her father had did, she was doing it as they were speaking. And so, you know when somebody tell you in your storm, hey, you messing up. Hey, but you don't want to listen because it just feels so good to be in that part of the storm. You think you're going to come out the storm, but you're really not. And so she heard what he was saying, but she wasn't too keyed on paying attention like that. So she was shocked, and she was like, well, I didn't say, I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. And he said, look at everything you have done, we have did. And, he said, yeah, he's mad at his brother. He said, but he didn't know that it was going to turn out like that. He didn't know that she was going to get vicious. He didn't know that she was going to get, that this was going to change her and the person that he originally started off helping. He said he didn't know that was going to change her. So basically he's saying, I don't even know who you are. You have turned into a stone cold killer like your father. All you want is the power. That's exactly what he said. And all she could do was shake her head and say, no, I'm not like my father. And if you say that again, I'm going to shoot you in the mouth. And he said, and that's exactly what your father would have said. And he got up out the car, gave her the blunt, got up out the car and walked off. And left Dee just sitting there. And Dee was just thinking. And Dee said, he just jealous. He just jealous. And but that wasn't the case. That was not the case at all. He wasn't just jealous. And he did know what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? That whole time. And he was trying to warn her. Warning come before destruction and in a storm. While you in your jungle, you will have people that care about you that will tell you things that you are not trying to hear at that moment in time. But what do you do? Do you take heed to it? Or do you think they hating on you? Or do you think they trying to tell you what to do? No. They be trying to tell you. I done been through that kind of storm before, and what you got going on, you going the wrong way. And that's what he was trying to do, give her a nudge. But when she said in that car, she said, oh, he just jealous because all I'm giving him, all I promised him was a meal. See, she's not even thinking like how she used to think. Now she's thinking on the terms of along the line of, I'm already here now. Let's enjoy it while I'm here. Whatever happens, happens. No longer caring, thinking the problem is gone. Thinking that when her parents get back, she's going to handle them. This, that, and the third. She just paid back for everything that she has went through with them since she been a kid, and it was time to pay the piper. Now, on the other hand, there's really no reason to kill your father if you didn't already did this much damage to him. When he come back, he can't survive from that damage. You got the money, you got the workers, you got everything. But so, sometimes things can look too good in your jungle. You can dress them up too nice and make the ugly not look so ugly, but it really does be ugly. So, let's get back to Daryl and the lawyer. Daryl and the lawyer, they walk into the warehouse where the Jamaicans told to meet them at. And the place is just too all familiar to Daryl. And he's walking in there. And when he walk in there, it ain't just one Jamaican. It's about 30 or 40 dang on Jamaicans up in that place. And they pat him and the lawyer down and take the bag that he had, the duffel bag he had in his hand with the guns he had stolen from the first set of Jamaicans he had killed. And the lawyer, he just standing there, ain't sweating the bullet, ain't sweating. And they just ready to go ahead and get this over with. So they say, gentlemen, and the Jamaicans say, don't gentlemen us. Don't come in here and act like you was a stone cold killer when you killed my brothers. He said, but now don't come up in here like you just some type of nice guy. I know you're wondering where your bitch at. And we made a little decision on the way over here. We had a change of plans. And Daryl want to choke that motherfucker. Daryl want to lash up out of him. That Daryl want to hurt him because that's his wife. But he keep his cool. He say, so what's the change of plans all of a sudden for? He said, well, we know you rude boys. You rude boys, you Americans, y'all don't have any kind of respect. So we thought we would just disrespect you a little bit. He said, you already disrespected when you took my wife. And why did you have all of these people here? He said, because this is a show you that they had to buy tickets for. And Daryl is confused. He like, what the? He look at the lawyer look at him. He said, this is a show my people come to look at. And the Jamaicans start laughing. And all of them got guns in their hand. They joking. It's funny to them. And Daryl say, man, all this one call for, I just want to give my life for my wife's life. And he said, I am going to give you your wife back like I promised. But you didn't say how I had to give her back. I can give her back dead. I can give her back crippled. I can give her back burnt up. I can give her back any way I want to give her back. But you are going to get her back. And we don't want your life. Your life ain't worth nothing. We done did some digging and some calling, and it come to find out, you ain't the big man you say you is. And Daryl looking like, what? What is you talking about? And he said, excuse me? He said, come to find out, you don't run Little Rock. You are not the boss man you say you are. So you have been lying to us for 2 years. We've been doing business with you. And Daryl say, Man, I don't know what kind of joke y'all playing, but where's my wife? And I'm here to give my life. He said, you're not worth nothing. See, you don't run nothing in Arkansas. From what I hear, a bitch named D runs everything in Arkansas. You are just a petty thief that's been stealing from us for 2 years. So see, your wife was the most precious thing we could have took from you. And Daryl is so lost. He don't know what to say. He like, what? D? He said, who told you some shit like that, man? Whoever told you some shit like that, man? He said, your workers. At least you lied and said they were your workers. And he like, what? Daryl is just Daryl like, man, y'all got me fucked up, man. I'm a boss ass nigga, man. Y'all got me big. I'm a boss ass. Hey, man, he's been a boss. And so he said, no. See, so let us tell you what we're going to do. Since you've been lying to us. Rude boy been lying. Want to be a big chief. Got a bitch running the whole city the whole time he's been lying to us. This is what the Jamaicans turn around and tell his people. Taking our money. Now he wants to sell us fake ass guns. Want us to invest more money. What do we do with a rude boy thief? That's what the Jamaican asked. I said, oh shit, what they gonna do with him? What they gonna do to him? He said, we roast rude boys. He said, so we roasted your wife. Daryl must have shitted bricks. Daryl was like, what? Did you just say you did to my wife? He said, bring her out. And the nigga clapped. The Jamaican said, clap, clap. Clap, clap. Bring her out. And they rolled her out. And her hands were above her head and her feet were above, they had her like, how you roast a pig and you try to turn it level like this, turn it like this. That's how they had her tied up. Body was sideways on a roaster, kind of like a big long table, operating table. And it was some kind of shit they had made, to put live bodies on so they can live roast their ass. And when they drug that damn table in, she was half dead and half alive. They had been roasting her, put her in front of a fire and roll her body around till it was roasted. And Daryl couldn't believe his motherfucking eyes. Boy, he was so through. He was through. He buckled to his knees. He could not believe that was his wife on that gurney thing, on that. He couldn't believe it. And sometimes in life, when you in the jungle and you been thinking that you got it going on in your jungle, that the struggle is almost over, and then somebody in your family gets sick, or somebody die in your family, or something happened to one of your loved ones, and that just throws you off of your jungle, off of your storm, you can no longer focus on what's going on wrong with you, because now you have to focus on someone else that's in your family. And that's basically what's happening to Daryl. He's been in his struggle for so long that he didn't think about that the struggle another person going through, he would have to be there for. And he said, is she dead? That nigga snapped. Is she dead, motherfucker? He said, oh, no. She's all right. You won't notice her pretty face anymore. They've been torturing the woman. Torturing her. Roasting her live body in front of a live pit fire. Like you would roast a pig. And he said, next time you lie to us, well, that won't be a next time. Isn't that right? And everybody started laughing again. And I was like, dang. Now, what else could have did? And he said, all 4 of those snipers that you had on my roof, they knew about them already. They're dead. You could take them back to Arkansas with you. And Daryl can't think of a thing to say. He can't get his eyes off his wife. The lawyer is looking so shocked. They said, you are permanently banned from California. And from what I hear, you're banned from Arkansas. He said, the only reason I'm letting you go with your life is because you didn't know the streets. And Daryl now, he feel disrespected because he like, motherfucker, I know the streets. Motherfucker, I came to give my life. And it kind of like the Jamaicans felt pity for him. He said, if you would have been a boss like I was a boss, I would have killed your wife, you, and that man standing beside you. He said, but I take pity on you because you don't know no better. Kind of like how he did his daughter. When he said he took pity on her, he would kill her for getting that business without his permission. That's the same thing how they was doing him. He said, so that's what saved your life. Yeah, your wife is still alive. She'll be a vegetable for the rest of her life. But everyone's breathing. He said, there's no way I could take a man beneath me's life. There is no value in that. That's like me picking on the weak or the sick. And he said, I'm not in that type of business. That's what the Jamaican said. So in a way, D saved his life. You know what I'm saying? It had to be. That's what I'm taking. Because if you would have been a boss nigga, if she wouldn't have took over, I mean, hey, that's, you know what I'm saying? So he said, give us the guns and the money back. You can leave with your lives. Get your wife out of here too. He said, but you didn't have to claim you was a big boss man to do business with me. I still would have did business with you. I just wouldn't have did business with you directly. I would have had somebody on your level to deal with you. And then the Jamaicans turned around and they all walked out. And Daryl said, wait a minute, goddammit, I came to give my life. Kill me. I'm dying in these streets. He said, you won't die at the hands of me. I don't kill petty peasants. There's no value in your life. And that killed Daryl to say that he was of no value when he know he was over $3.5 million. He was $1 million man. He had been in the streets forever. What you mean? And shoot, on Thursday, we'll find out. Now he knows that D is the big honcho in town. He don't know what the hell that Jamaican talking about. He got to see this for himself. And look at his wife. They had to get her to a hospital. Will she make it back to Arkansas? What will he do when he get to Arkansas, to D? What will D do to him as they prepare to meet each other for the first time in a week? A lot of shit then went down and a lot of shit then changed lives. But we will only find out Thursday at 7. I'm your girl, Queen Supreme. This is Supreme Podcast Hits, and you are listening to The Jungle, where your struggle and our struggles are the same. We just handle them different ways. You can reach me at superjustrealsavage@gmail.com or superrobinbuckley18@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at The Real Super Savage. Oh yeah, and don't forget, join my blog. It's free. Subscribe. Supreme Podcast Hits. And I will see y'all Thursday. Goodbye. Run off, yeah, now stand my ground, boo. Let's talk podcast. The Queen Supreme, that's me. Yes, I'm an original gangster, original G. On this track, I can bring it right back, you see. Yeah.